If you've ever gotten a haircut that results in such a transformative change that your family members don't even recognize you, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Welcome back. Like and comment. Get involved in the chat. It is the best community out there. Don't ever forget that. We're going to make some money today. We had a lot of really big earnings yesterday. We had the Fed yesterday. What on earth is going on? We're going to break it down, but we're going to go ahead and play the intro first.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
All right, folks, we are back and we are here for another day of live trading. Happy Thursday. Good morning. Great to see all of you. Let's bring on 13. 13, how you doing today?
I'm having a pretty good morning. It was a lot of fun yesterday toward the end of the day when we were getting pal talking. We'll talk about that, but I'm having fun.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, yesterday we were talking about waiting for Powell yesterday, and boy, the wait was worth it. I ended up scalping the SPY 7 times on that run up. 7 times on that run up. So just really, really good stuff. Yeah, let's dive right into it. Let's get started with some of the ancillary stuff here. Of course, stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool. If you need a prop firm, go check them out. You also get plays from them. We're going to see Michael on here pretty soon as well. So, okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the SPY. I'm going to take a look at the daily chart first, 13. Then we can actually zoom in to what took place at the end of the day and talk about the Fed there. But we're going to first start with the daily chart here. We are still kind of in this little channel. And when I say channel, I mean basically between these two moving averages. We've had 3 days now where we've really just compressed between them. We have the 20-day moving average declining, and we have the 100-day moving average rising. And that is actually creating this little channel here that we are eventually going to break out of. Maybe today is the day. I have the upside here at 507.06, downside at 496.44. We'll see where we end up going here with the SPY. We did have the Fed yesterday. Definitely seemed dovish, at least in my opinion. We had a huge rip and then gave it all back. So 13, as far as the SPY goes, anything of note on the daily chart that you want to cover before we jump into the Fed and what happened in the middle of the day?
Frequent rejection of the 20-day SMA. You could look on the daily chart with that moving average and see that last Friday we were rejected. We did get a close above it on Monday, but we immediately got sold off and went way down the following day. So. And then yesterday with the Fed coming on, we went right up and traded just slightly above the 20-day SMA before we came right back in. I have to think that the 20-day SMA is really putting pressure on this on this ETF, and that it's going to kind of dictate how high this could go. If it does break above the 20, then I still have the 508.50 and the 50-day SMA levels that the price could end up knocking its head upon. But for now, I think that we could see some up and down volatility, maybe sideways, but I still think ultimately we do go lower.
Okay, I'm with you there too. I think that we've entered a new. The guest that was on pre-market prep earlier was absolutely awesome. I mean, Greg's the man, and he's been saying a lot of things that you and I have been discussing regarding the consumer really kind of tightening up, looking at credit cards versus savings, and how savings are depleted, and more people are putting things on credit cards. Defaults are going up, and all of that. All of that is showing that the consumer is in fact weakening. So that it was good to see that here. Now, as far as the SPY goes and the Fed's decision yesterday, what do you make of this, 13? Because we talked about this being really fun. It was very short-lived. How do we process this going forward? Process
what they did or this move?
Yeah, what they the price action, where we're at, and what's coming next. Let's start with the rate cuts. It really seemed like Powell kind of set the baseline to be one rate cut this year. Now, I'm still in the camp that we don't get any. We'll see if that materializes, but I think that this rate cut, if we get it, isn't going to come till way late in the year. I don't see how they can cut rates at this time. Go ahead.
You know, I do have an opinion on the case for at least one rate cut, but it's so in the hated camp, I guess we'll say, that it's probably not even worth discussing. I think that we're more likely, and even with a rate cut earlier than this period I'm about to talk about, I still think that November and December seem to be the most likely times. It's right after the election, so they get to tout their non-political bias when they do make that cut. So it seems like November and December are still very much on the table. Prior to that, not sure. I was watching the CME Fed Watch tool when we were getting Powell talking. There were some fluctuations in there. I noticed that September went from pretty mixed to a little bit more even when it comes to whether or not there's going to be a rate cut or not. So it was interesting to watch that. But ultimately, I think that it is going to probably come down to after the election if we do get a rate cut this year.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same way. Our chat seems to be right on top of this. Where was that comment? STFU, what rate cuts? Lynn, let's see. Carmen saying, I think he set the stage for no cuts. That's kind of the camp that I've been in for a while. Lynn saying no rate cuts, one increase, please. The one thing he did say is pretty much said that they're not looking to hike. Now, I'm in agreement with you, Lynn. I think one more hike would probably be pretty good, but seems to me like they were saying, okay, we're not going to do any more hiking. Okay, and then as far as the actual trading action, like I said, I was just scalping this thing on the way up, had all types of momentum. I was like, oh man, this is moving. The market was kind of waiting for this. So when we got this type of move, I was just clicking my buttons, making some money there. So really awesome stuff. How did you handle this move yesterday?
Well, but before I get into that, I wanted to point out, because somebody was asking about this in the chat, what we thought about the quantitative tightening that was mentioned. They're planning on changing the way they do their U.S. Treasury purchases and their mortgage-backed security purchases. So what they're trying to do in June is just kind of let more things roll off and not buy back into them. So effectively, they're reducing the money supply that's circulating. That can be a measure against inflation. So when that happens in June, it could be a bullish catalyst for the market. So if we continue to leak into June, that would actually bode really well for the pattern that we identified on the SPY, the monthly pattern, where we'd be getting 5 green months, 3 red months, and then we had another 5 green months. Well, guess what? April was our first red month. Now we should be in our second red month, May. When June comes along, we start to get those the next FOMC meeting. We'll get those that quantitative easing measure, and that could be a bullish catalyst for the market to resume its pattern and have 5 green months following June. So that's kind of what I'm looking at on the technical side to match up with what their plan for quantitative tightening is. So we'll see if that materializes, but I think that's ultimately going to be bullish. Now, as far as this move goes, the things that I was trading when we were rising, I was actually holding some Palantir, and it was taken off during that time. So I was selling a lot of that and picking some up as soon as it started to roll over and go beneath my cost basis. Another thing that I also picked up with when we started to roll over, or actually when we hit the top, and this was amazing because we will have to get into this about what happened in happy hour, but I was looking to reload my sqqs that I sold that morning because I felt this was a pretty extended move. 1150 was my target to pick up some more. We nailed it, and turned to find out that I wasn't the only one. Seems like you got in on that, and so did some other members of the happy hour team. So this was awesome.
This was really amazing. So a couple of things that we'll discuss here about the sqqq, and then we'll get to some of the gappers. I know you folks want to cover the gappers. We will do that. Don't worry. We don't have very many Fed decisions, and I think there's a lot of trading that can be done around some of these things. The move we saw yesterday was incredible. Yeah. As far as sqqq goes, so one of the things that we've kind of been talking about from happy hour, and full disclosure, this is not my strategy. I've borrowed this from somebody smarter than me. We've got a private equity veteran who's been in the market for 40 plus years, has said one of his favorite strategies for day trading some of these ETFs is when the ETF really starts to move away from the VWAP, and there's not necessarily a general round number, but when it really starts to get extended from the VWAP, it's generally a pretty good trade back towards the VWAP. So I've been looking at that strategy on many of these ETFs. And yesterday, I was, as sqqq was moving down, I was like, wow, I'm still bearish. I still think tech's going to roll over. I'm getting an opportunity to add this at a discounted rate. What kind of level looks good? And I started flipping around here. And I started looking at some other charts, and I came up right here. You can see that this, like the bottom here, this actual 1150, this was actually a support from April 25th when we sold off. We did go lower before breaking higher. And then again, if you actually look, I think it's on might be on an hourly chart. Tough to see with all those reverse splits on the daily chart. But this 1150 level that they were talking looked to be some pretty important. Here we go. If you look to the left, you see that the price has really kind of run into this level. So as I was looking at that, I read in the chat that 1150s look like good entry. And I was like, oh man, there must be other people seeing exactly what I'm seeing. Ended up getting some at 1155. We're still long some sqqq into today. It felt like I almost bottom ticket. I think I was off by like 6 cents. Very, very lucky. Sometimes better to be lucky than good. So we are in my main account carrying sqqq into today. We'll see how that ends up reacting. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the smaller gappers here really quickly. Let's see if I missed anything. Oh, Geo, I like this one. Consumer is dead. Huge downside for the rest of the year. That's definitely possible. That is definitely possible. I also think that the consumer's in big trouble. Jay Rice, I hope you're doing well. Says market says one rate cut in 2024. Gunlock, the Bond King said September. So we'll see if that ends up materializing. Okay, let's flip over to the movers. Did you have anything else you wanted me to cover before we look through some of these smaller gappers?
No, let's get to what's moving.
Okay, first one here is ALLR. This is Alarity Therapeutics. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, 13, but was this one that you were monitoring the short interest, or was that ALLO? Am I confusing that?
I don't know. There's a lot of things I'm looking at for short interest. I think the thing that was interesting about this one was their early phase 2 conclusion. That seemed like a pretty good headline there, because that means that not only is their drug seemingly effective, but also they don't have to spend as much money continuing to conduct that phase 2 trial. So I think that's great news, and I'm not surprised that we were up over 100%. I still am looking to see if we can get back over our VWAP and trade back up to, what was that, 340 that we were at this morning?
High here exactly 340. Bingo.
Yeah. So I think that this is some good news. It's got a 1.9 million share float. They did a reverse split, 1 for 20 on the 9th of April. So several boxes checked there. This thing should be able to move pretty well on decent volume. I just really like that headline. So I think this is going to end up being a pretty good mover, but we'll have to wait and see when we open.
Okay, and that headline, by the way, Alarity Therapeutics shares trading higher after the company announced that one of its drugs shows a clear clinical benefit, leading to early conclusion of the phase 2 trial in advanced ovarian cancer. I agree. That is a good headline here. A couple of things about this. First of all, Felipe, I picked up shares, not options. I'm not trading options on sqqq shares this time, but good question. Sorry for not making that clear. David asking, ALR, great news, but be careful. Low float due to 3 reverse splits in the last 14 months. Yep. We've actually seen that reverse split stocks have been some of the ones that really end up going. I expect they will be doing an offering soon to raise money, but there's money to be made in the meantime. So a really good warning here. This is, again, day trading only vehicle, despite what the headline is. Sally here saying ALR, low float, 26% short interest. So this should move around and has some potential squeezy action going on here. So ALR, we're right under the VWAP. Really good headline, and at least one that reads really well. Let's see if we hold 250.
As far as the raising money, they did file a prospectus supplement to increase offering price. That's why it moved earlier in April. It was moving on that prospectus. So they are trying to raise money. But yeah, it was great points on the low float and the need for more cash. Absolutely.
Okay. Real quickly here, Monica saying, hey guys, I just joined. Thoughts on Starbucks? Is it a buy down here now? Monica, welcome. Hopefully you enjoy the show here. I'll tell you what, first of all, we can't tell you what to buy or sell. We're not licensed and we're not going to break the law. So can't do that, but we will take a look at Starbucks for you. Let us finish this list of some of these smaller gappers and we'll move back over to some of those bigger stocks. And I will start with Starbucks for you. We do have some stuff to talk about on Starbucks and we talked about that last night. So happy to cover that here again briefly. Just sit tight for a minute. Okay, next here on the gappers list is going to be EBS. This is Emergent Biosolutions. Big move here in Emergent Biosolutions. Went from about 192 up to 355. Emergent Biosolutions shares are trading higher after the company announced operational changes to stabilize its financial position and reported Q1 financial results. Okay, so that reads well. They're probably doing the right thing here. EBS, huge pop. Although we have lost the VWAP here, it does look like we might be kind of finding some support on the after hours highs yesterday, which is about 280. That now corresponds to today's pre-market lows. So it looks like we've bounced off that area once. We'll see if this continues to curl back towards the VWAP and give us a trading opportunity. As far as the share structure here, I've got a float of 42 million. So I don't really think this one is a low float stock, and this might not move around as quickly as some of these other ones. Do you have anything on EBS here, 13?
Yeah, this is moving off of their earnings that they had yesterday. They had a big EPS beat. Sales wasn't as substantial, but it was still better. It was a much better beat than what they were expecting. They're going through some cost saving measures right now, and one of the things that they're doing is they're firing 300 employees in order to, as part of that cost saving measure. So I think one of the things that we're going to also start seeing, and this has been mentioned in Happy Hour a lot by some of the more intelligent gentlemen than me, is that there's going to be a lot of these smaller companies that are going to start seeing a lot of employee releases. They're going to start letting people go because they just can't afford to employ them anymore. And we'll probably end up seeing those companies start to go under. So you might see some big moves on some of these companies that need cash and are trying to go through cost-cutting measures. When they fire their staff, that could be a bullish catalyst for some of these low float movers.
Okay, there you go. Next here, I see a bunch of the chat members talking about both of these stocks here. We're going to cover both. Don't worry. Next one here is Carvana.
Yeah.
Carvana shares, I mean, this is printing 120. I feel like we talked about this at 30, 40, 70, 80. Now here we are at 120. Oh my goodness, Carvana. The last time I saw a car vending machine, it was empty. Just saying. But anyway, Carvana shares trading higher after the company reported Q1 financial results. Big story here on Carvana has been the short interest. I wish I still had the history here. Haven't been able to resolve that yet. Current flow short interest as of the middle of April, 31.69% of the float shorted, 6.65 days to cover. This thing has had all types of squeezy action. If you take a look at the chart and you take a look at the day chart, this thing was down here in single digits? Not long ago, really the beginning of 2023 and mostly midway through 2023. And look at the move that this thing has made. I mean, to me, this definitely has some squeezy action in it on Carvana.
I think I'm trying to see if this is going to have the same effect that Root did. And by effect, I mean the price action. We saw Root, kind of move up, parabolically, it seemed, compared to this one. But this, Root was another short squeeze, and once it got pretty extended, it started coming back in. I mean, like Root's now under 70 again. I'm curious if this is going to go that same route. I can see on the daily chart that the RSI is over 82 right now, so you have an indicator telling you this thing could be quite overbought. So this might have some short opportunities in it today, if not later.
You also have an intraday double top here at 122. So I think one of the strategies that we'll look at here, top end of the range 122, bottom end of the pre-market range 117. Let's see if we break out back test. We should have a trade set up for ticker CVNA. Okay, next one here is going to be EVNX. This is a Novix. We are no stranger to this stock. We have traded this one a bunch off of the relative volume scanner. We've also seen PRs for this one in the past. Looks like half of the chat is already talking about this one. DC, Jay Summers, Jay Rice. Jay Rice here giving us some information on it. Y'all always take this. High shorts, David Prince at T3 Traders likes it. So there you go. nice little move here today. Envx shares are trading higher after the company reported mixed Q1 financial results. So interesting, mixed results. Stock still trading up here on Envx. If you take a look at the daily chart, does look like we've really kind of come off that bottom. We are at a former support level that should now be resistance. Let's see if we can actually take this one off. 13, you got anything on this one? Short interest, share structure, anything that's worth looking at?
This one seems to have, well, I guess it wasn't on my scanner when I was first looking at them, but I'm just kind of reading through the news here, and it's apparently they had earnings yesterday. But they also mentioned they had signed a development agreement with a leading smartphone OEM. Now, I don't know which manufacturer they're referring to, but
well, that's Samsung.
Could be Samsung. Yeah, I was going to say could be Samsung. So anyway, I think that obviously that's what it's moving on. The float. 117, almost 118 million shares. Not going to be as easy to push around as some of these other low float stocks, but that short interest, it's quite juicy. When you have 20, my last read is 27% float shorted, 7.72 days to cover. We could see some pretty heavy squeezing happening here, but again, the floats look pretty large.
Yeah, and as you can see, we did curl and go through the pre-market impulse move high of 874. That was from yesterday's after-hours session. Looks like we're kind of building there. We'll see where we end up going. Okay, the wait is over. We've got even more people that want to take a look at Starbucks. Let's do that. They, of course, reported earnings yesterday. So the first question we got is this a good buy? Now, I can't tell you what's a good buy for your portfolio. I'm not a licensed financial advisor, and any information here is for educational or entertainment purposes only. But what I can say is, I've traded Starbucks in the past. I'll give you my full view on this, and it won't take long. First of all, I don't like this company. I don't think their coffee's any good. I think all of their beans and flavors are over roasted. So I'm a coffee addict, fully admit that. I drink several cups of coffee every day. I would never go to a Starbucks unless I absolutely had to, or it was a social type thing. I would never go there. I make my own coffee at home. I'm not going to go buy it at Starbucks. Now, my single opinion is relatively unimportant, but one of the things that we saw from the earnings report is how poorly Starbucks is doing in China. And that is a big driver of their business. Now, the Chinese, they've got their own issues with their economy and their consumer and all of that. And I'm not sure if they're going to get more stimulus or anything like that. So I'm not sure what to make of that. But what we heard from their report, not good. I don't see the bull case here myself. I know how important the Chinese market is. That's not doing well. The one caveat that I will say here for a trade, we are coming down to a support level here. Now, if I took a trade on this, it would be purely technical because, again, I don't really like this long term. You got any thoughts on this one on Starbucks here?
Well, I mean, if you back out of the daily chart there, even put on a weekly, you can see that we're kind of putting in a bit of a skewed head and shoulders. So the writing was kind of literally on the wall there for a lot of people that this was headed lower on the technical side. The thing that was driving me kind of crazy about this company, and I think that over a longer term down the road, this could end up being better. But when they were trying to expand in China during a time where their economy is taking a downturn, I didn't think was the wisest move. I think they have some pretty serious management issues going on right now, thinking that was a good idea. But to your point about the selling here, we are oversold. We do have an RSI of 20.3 right now. So that is pretty dang low. I'd think that we could see some retracement to the upside, but I'd probably say no higher than 80. I don't think it really goes higher than that. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but I don't think that we're going to get too much of a retracement back up because I do think that this ultimately does go lower in the very near term.
Okay, there you go. So I'd watch the level here. We're open.
There's the bell.
68, that level I would watch here. Again, I'm sorry. I don't like this here. Maybe you get it for a bounce. Okay, let's flip over to the scanner. Let's see what's going on. I'll flip over to the trade the pool broker here in a sec, and we'll go ahead and execute some trades. I see Alyssa's asking me, when is the RF coffee truck? Look, Alyssa, that is a great idea. I think I could probably serve some pretty awesome coffee out of there. I don't know if I've got the time to sit in the coffee truck every day. I'll be honest.
STFU is mentioning TGTX. It's going.
Oh, okay. So TGTX. That was from yesterday. That's been a great stock, by the way. TGTX. That is trading up here. One of the other stocks that's trading up here, several people were asking about this. Sorry, we didn't get to it in the pre-show here. Draftkings. Draftkings has earnings tomorrow. Now, we've had trouble trying to telegraph the move that the stock's going to make after earnings. I have no position in DraftKings, despite I sports bet almost every single night. I use FanDuel, by the way. I don't have the DraftKings app installed on my phone, and I'm a small fries better here. But the thing about DraftKings, my big thing here is look at the run that we've made. Is this maybe a sell the news? I mean, if you think about this year, we had the NFL playoffs that led to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl led to the college basketball and then the March Madness tournament. A lot of betting and stuff. Now we're entering the dry season. The draft is over. The NHL playoffs are more of a niche. People don't really bet it. The NBA playoff, they're coming to an end. No one really bets baseball, or not a whole lot. There's really not a whole lot of other sports going on. I don't know what the thesis is here. To me, this seems like if I've been in this from before, I'm taking gains prior to this earnings print. That's just me.
They're already profitable, right? They already they've become profitable last year, I believe.
I believe that is correct. I believe that they had a ton of spend to try and get new customers, and now they might be turning that ship there.
Okay, so yeah, I was wondering if that had happened. So that's not something we can look forward to for a big bullish catalyst. So sorry, I'm just kind of like focused on some of these other ones, like ALR. We are actually getting some upward movement out of the gate here. So the target I have for this one would be 340, which was the pre-market high. After that, it's going to be 345, which I know no big deal, but that's the level I had prior to the top of the pre-market here. After that, 380. Other ones, I know we were Hub C was on my list, but we didn't get to talk about it. That one, not really seeing a whole lot of movement out of the gate here. APBO was another one, same thing, not a lot of movement. CNTX, we're looking. The first move is down, and EBS, we're trying to push up here to VWAP right now.
Okay, really good stuff there. I'm going to mark off this Carvana channel. Looks like that's the bot. Looks like we're at the bottom right here. Let's see if we can get the. Here's the high. 122 to 116. That looks like our spot here on Carvana. So we'll see if this ends up breaking down. We want to watch which end of the range that breaks out of. By the way, we were just talking about DraftKings, DK ticker DKNG here. Big sell off, or maybe not big, pull off the open here. Envx, you guys are mentioning. I know you just rolled through several of these. Let's take a look here. Envx at that VWAP.
Oh, EBS popped up to or close to VWAP and then came right back down. So we're in this sideways consolidation again from pre-market.
Tesla strong out of the open here. ENVX breaking through the VWAP there. Verb, that's a penny stock though.
I've been seeing Verb pop up on my scanners for the past couple of days. Just haven't really decided to cover it because it's remained under. I think it was under $1, and it's remained under there. I think. CGCI
ALLR pop, dude, that was crazy. That popped right to the top end of the pre-market range and knifed right back to the VWAP. LNTHJ, what's going on? This is the one you're still holding this. This is another move higher here on Lanthus. Wow, this is a $10 move here on LNTH. You're in this, right, Jay? This is I'll give you a register ring when you confirm that. Wow, big move here.
Okay.
Lynn is saying, interesting. Lynn is saying, bet the Bruins tonight. Lynn, I'm going to take the other side of that. You remember what happened to Boston last year? They had 3-1 lead, gave it up to Florida. That game when it was 3-2, game 6 was really, really pivotal. It's in Toronto. Is Matthews playing tonight? I think he might be back from his illness. I like the Maple Leafs tonight on the money line. Been in for a while. Okay, Jay. Really, really good trade there. You have been talking about LNTH for a while too. I never followed you into that one, but man, oh man, great win here for you early on. Let me know if you're lightning into this move. Lightening, not lightning.
DC saying QCOM to 180. I'll take it.
Anyone follow QCOM pretty heavy? Can anyone make any inferences if QCOM picked up any of the chips for the Apple phones? I didn't go through their earnings report, so maybe not. Envx looks like it is trying to bounce off that VWAP here, ticker Envx.
It's an ugly day for Root so far. It could bounce.
Oh yeah, it is. Man, this thing not only gave up all of its earnings, now it's moving lower, erasing more of its gains.
Mm-hmm. Did CVNX end up going that same route? I'm sorry, not CVNX, CVNA, Carvana.
No, Benzinga, please. I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to you. I was reading this comment. Sorry,
that's smart.
I know, I didn't mean to disrespect you there.
No worries.
Please consider adding a clock. Would be helpful to alert when video lags and requires a reset. Interesting. So you're saying just on the stream, maybe in a corner, just a little clock that gives you the Eastern time?
There is a delay between us talking now and this stream showing up on YouTube.
Yeah, that's true. But even so, I think as long as the clock's ticking, he'll know that there's I don't know. Let me know.
EBS trying for VWAP again. 5 minutes ago, it popped and dropped.
I need a market clock app. Interesting. That might be something that we could. You guys are giving me ideas here. 13. I'm sorry. I am actually listening to the ideas and not you. And I'm gonna turn that around here. I apologize for that.
Gotta listen to the community.
Gotta listen to the community. Especially ours. I mean, we got the best one. We might as well. Carvana's still in the range that we have identified here. Good morning, Jonathan. Sometimes the delay grows. Yeah. I can understand that. Well, you know what? The clock would be real time for us. So let me talk to the producers about that. Maybe producer Alyssa knows how to do that. Not to put you on the spot, Alyssa. Do you know how to find some type of clock asset and add it to the stream or no?
It's not built into StreamYard, so you'd have to have it like on your stream probably.
Interesting. Okay, then I'll look into that and proceed. Our producers always know what's up. Thanks, Alyssa. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. I'll look into that, though. I do like that idea. Say again?
There goes EBS.
EBS?
Yep. And ALR, yeah, it's knifing. It's knifing hard.
Oh, that what a curl on EBS and now through the VWAP. Great call, 13.
Yeah, somebody else pointed out when it broke VWAP, but this was oh man, it is really going now.
Fastly, we had the awesome joke yesterday. We might need to change this to slowly. Whoever that was awesome. Now, Fastly here did dip off that opening print. We did just reclaim the VWAP. Volume looks good here, but I actually want to see this expand. I have no position in Fastly. I've traded this before. Last time I traded, I got stopped out as a loss there. So Caddyshack, I think that's Caddyshack. Cool. Let me know what your plan here is on Fastly. I am interested in trading this again. I just don't know if now's the time. Tesla strong early has reversed here. ALR, you guys are still watching ALR. Okay, we're going, looks like we're moving to the bottom end of the range. Tell you what, straight up rejected at 341 and sent lower. Yeah, EBS. Wow, this was such a good call. 13. Great. You know what? You're getting a register ring and a one up today.
You know, somebody in the chat pointed out that it was breaking VWAP. I had taken it off my screen at that time, but I was kind of looking at for this break. I just didn't know when it was going to happen, but it seemed to actually happen shortly after I mentioned. Seemed like it.
So the market moving lower here off that opening print. That's good for our sqqq trade, by the way. That continuing higher here.
Hub C got up to VWAP, moved above it. Now it's come back in. There's a big sell order at 124 that it needs to chew through in order for it to go higher. But the pre-market high in Hub C is 135.
Looking around here at some other stuff. Okay.
All those moves started to slow down a bit. EBS pushing slightly higher. We're trying to chew through this pre-market consolidation here at these 330-ish levels. Don't know how long it's going to take, but you could see some. I could have some difficulty getting through that. Might even come back to VWAP.
SGBX, really good call here, Wis. This one, impulse move initially came almost completely round tripped. We retook the VWAP here. Now a pullback towards the VWAP on volume here. I've got that VWAP at 316, by the way, so just a little lower than where we're at. Stock a little bit spready here, almost 20 cents.
Nice mention on Sisu Pro. That one had nice. It popped in 10 minutes. Just two big green candles on my 5-minute chart, but now it seems like it's just stopped.
This stock does that. It just seems to pop out of nowhere. EBS volume continuing here. Look at this expanding. What a call this was. So I was late to this one, but you folks are on top of this here. Look at this expanding volume. EKS mentioning Triple M. We talked about looking for potential puts on Triple M as early as yesterday. That now down here over 1%. I ended up not opening that position. Damn, maybe I should have. We even talked about that.
Yeah, because that dividend's more likely going to get cut.
Yeah. For you option players out there, let me know if you like this, if you like 3M short here, and if you would use options in order to do that.
ALR trying to get back up to VWAP. It's
JBB from our Twitch community. I will take that. Love that we've got people from the Twitch community here mentioning that the earnings for Palantir are on Monday. He is absolutely correct. That is after the market on Monday, so you will have Monday's session to trade around this if you want. I'll be honest, I like Palantir, and I've actually been just kind of following more people that are involved in global security, and it seems like they have connections to Palantir. So I'm starting to see it come up in other avenues here, which leads me to believe there might be something to this. No position in Palantir, but I'd be looking to add that.
What are you doing with your sqqq?
Still holding sqqq. To be quite honest with you, I'd really like to see some 1220s on the sqqq. I'm not confident that we're just going to roll over and plunge, and this is something that I should hold and wait for multiple points. I'm pretty happy with the tactical buy that I got. So if we get that 70 cents, I'll probably just take those gains off the table and wait for it. We're not actually far away from this here. We're right at 12, only 20 cents away from that 1220 level.
Looks like some of these movers this morning are all coming in. APVO is pushing though, so that's different compared to these other ones.
APVO,
but CNTX.
Check that ticker. That
APVO.
V. I put B like an idiot.
Sorry.
No, my fault. I'm the idiot.
That was probably my tongue getting in the way.
Kevin, I appreciate this, Kevin. Kevin's saying I have the June 90 puts on 3M.
Nice.
You were seeing the same thing I was, Kev. Good luck on that. June 90. Let's see what those are priced at here real quick. And I like that you went to the June contract and not the May contract. There is a humongous difference in time there. June contract here, 90 puts. Those are about $1. Those are only $1. So actually fairly cheap here. Good open interest in that strike as well. Also in the 80 strike. Almost wonder if you could do a spread on. I don't know. 3M down 1.5% here. Kevin, you got my wheels turning here. Great. I like your trade. I like your trade a lot.
Root under 60. EBS is holding VWAP. That still might have some strength, but we'll have to wait and see. It's still got to get through that consolidation from pre-market.
It looks like it tried to back test the VWAP here, which is good.
Yeah.
Carvana. Carvana. It's trying to back. Oh, here we go, guys. Here we go. I want to see if I can short this right here. Come up a little bit more. You know what? I'm going to actually open just a little bit here. On a pop. Then we'll short that pop. Let's see here. Let's see if we break back down. What we want to see here in Carvana is a move down. We broke out of the channel. We're back testing the edge of the channel. Let's see if we move down here. See if we move down from here. It'll be pretty good. If this catches, maybe stop above VWAP maybe? We'll take a look on that.
Sizu kind of just hanging out here. What are we thinking? I think on Crow that this breaks above 10 again and goes up to 11, cranks it up to 11. Is that what we're thinking?
Voodoo here saying Ryan, put spread sounds good for Triple M, defines risk. I like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking here too. All right, Carvana. Ooh, Carvana right to the VWAP here. This might be it. Do I reshort it here or do I stop out here? What do you folks think?
We can't give advice.
That was such a good answer, team. Oh, that was so good here. Let's see if this really moves through the VWAP. We might have to actually stop this out here for a loss. What a bummer. It did stop at the VWAP, so I do kind of want to give it some time, see if we end up breaking down here. STFU, you don't like you don't like this, right? Okay, so you think this is going higher here. So we'll see. We'll see. Might have to stop out on this one if it keeps rolling. It's still struggling at the VWAP here, though. That's what I like to see.
APVO trying to push through VWAP right now. Not sure it's going to have the volume, but it might. Did I see a big order that just came in, a big bid? So maybe it does.
Come on back in, Carvana. Here we go.
APBVO. I keep saying B next to P. APVO.
Yeah, they're
therapeutics.
Those are very close. That's a common thing. Joel or Jay. Yeah, Jay, excuse me. JAE saying S-Bucks, down she goes. Down she goes on Starbucks. Okay, let's take a look here at Starbucks. So far, we're doing all right there on Carvana. Oh, look at that pull here on Starbucks. Lower we go. Lower we go. And actually, the bottom end of that impulse candle, I've got that at about 72.73. That's only $1 away from where we're at now on Starbucks.
Yes.
Back in on this Carvana trade. It's really struggling to get above the VWAP. That's what I want to see.
Sub 70 in Starbucks seems in the near future, but at the same time, very low RSI. I have to feel like this thing's going to get a bounce, sometime. I don't know if it happens this week. Maybe it happens next week.
APVO trying VWAP. I thought, boy, am I missing? There we go, right through the VWAP. It's trying to go here. Check in on EBS. That was another one that actually kept going here. Okay, you guys are on it. You guys are on it here.
Looks like CNTX is trying to push up the VWAP as well.
All right, that rejection I should have definitely added there. Let's see. Come on, pop back up here to VWAP. Back up here. I'm thinking of maybe adding short here.
Crow saying Sizu again. This thing is
a lot of fades everywhere. Yes, sir, Jay. Yes, sir.
How about that, Crow? The thing that we just talked about, and it didn't get quite to 11, but I think 7 cents is close enough. I think you'll forgive me for that, right?
I tell you what, I have a feeling I missed that ad at the VWAP there on Carvana here. So this is actually really, really good so far. This could easily change, but so far this is really good action for our short. We got the entry that we wanted. We've really, really struggled with the VWAP. So as long as this continues up, now there we are, right back up to it. All right, I'm going to try some right here, and then we're going to set our stop right above this VWAP. Okay, so we're going to stop out there if this goes, but let's see if we can actually get it to fall out here. If it really rockets through the VWAP, I will get stopped here. Here we go. Let's see. STFU, you might win. You might win this one here. Let's see. Might get stopped out right here. But we're still trying it. I'm going to let this figure it out. I'm going to stop watching every tick. It's going to drive me insane. Here's EBS. This continues to move higher. Does EBS have... Let's see. Oh, my God. EBS has options.
Well, remember, this is a larger float company, a little bit bigger than your typical biotech.
Yeah. And
They had a big cost cut. This is the one that has the cost cutting measures. They're firing 300 employees.
Yep. And there's some open interest in these strikes. This EBS looks like this has been traded here before.
I think I hear you salivating.
Well, I'm just taking a look at it. Okay, here we go. Carvana, look at this. We are starting to get rolling here. Let's see if we can keep plunging. That's what I want. Oh, man, this is all over the place on Carvana. Carvana knife-ish. Just saying.
Yeah,
it's really got a knife, though, for this trade to be. I'm sorry, 13. I keep running over.
It's okay, dude. Don't worry. I'm just kind of watching APVO here, thinking we might get a pop. Pre-market high is 146. After hours high is 153. So let's just say it's going to 145 at least, or trying. We could play for that upside at 145 level.
Carvana could easily knife to 114. That's what we're hoping for. That is what we are hoping for here. But again, we'll see. We had a trade setup. We'll see if the trade setup works. If it doesn't, we'll be stopped out. It is what it is. Nothing we can't get over. And stopped out of Carvana. So looks like it actually did go green there too. We'll see here. That push right above that VWAP, that stops me out. STFU, you are the winner there. I will give you the one up for that. You were right on the long side there. Couldn't break down here. That setup didn't work. We'll look for another one.
Wonder if we'll see ALLR return later today once we get some more
oh my God.
Weakness.
Sydney.
MNDR.
Look at Sydney saying, Ryan and 13, remember MNDR? Look at this, dude. Look at this thing dipped to like $8 and is already back to the 20s.
Wow.
Oh,
wow. Look at
man.
that. How many halts is that yesterday?
I do. You know what, man? I don't. That looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have. Let me count. Let me see if Pro can tell me. See if I can scroll back. MNDR trading halt. Trading halt. Here it is.
That's scary.
I have 12 trading halts yesterday for MNDR. God.
That's scary.
Wow.
Now, I guess because I haven't looked yet, but could you tell us what that the news was that had it halted down multiple times and why we've recovered?
I don't think there was a Jay MNDR. If I traded that, I'd be the loony bin. Jay, I'm looking at this chart and I'm like I feel the same thing. I drive myself crazy. Drive myself crazy trading something like that.
Yeah, that's a red light, green light play right there.
ST. Did our setup work only to get flushed? Oh, STFU, what happened, dude? What happened? We had the perfect setup and we got stopped out. Dude, look at this move.
Shaking out the weekends.
I guess I was the weekends here. Look at the trade plan here. Oh my God, this is. You know what we might have to start doing on some of this? Really might have to start changing the add point and the stop point, right? Because if we add a little bit above VWAP and then stop, maybe higher, maybe like break even, then we're still in this. And we're going to really, really get a better price here. This Carvana here, this setup.
Well, listen, ultimately we were still right.
Well, yeah, but I mean, what do you care more about, right, or making money? I got stopped out on this. I didn't make a dime on this.
I think you end up making more money by being right more of the time than being wrong more of the time. So I think the fact that you were still right, it just wasn't, you just didn't play it to the way it needed to work.
Oh, look at it now. This thing. Maybe I just played too volatile of a stock here today. 13.
Probably.
Look at this thing's good.
That's definitely it. Absolutely. But I think.
Oh my God!
Your whole thought on this trade was not wrong, and I think it's important to take that away.
No,
it's a thing you're gonna look at later and be like, where did I go wrong here? Because the whole thought process, the whole thesis was correct.
And here, STFU, it looks like he's thinking the same thing here. So the top wick took it all the way to 119. That's going to stop you out of some day trades there. Not much you can do about that. So Yeah, look, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Here's the thing about trading. I have not met anybody, even the professionals that have been doing this for multiple decades. I've not met anybody that's always right. Learning how to protect yourself, always going to be one of the best things that you can do, especially early on. Live to fight another day. I don't want to bust out being some hero trying to short Carvana. That would be an embarrassment. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to play these things tactically, even if we play some of this garbage. In any case, Carvana, wild stuff here this morning.
Yeah, I think you nailed the thesis, though.
I think so too. Okay. Don't think that I came here today with, just the same old. We do have a special guest coming back here for you today. Can't wait to bring him on. You ready? Can I get a thumbs up in the back if you're ready? Uh-oh. Not ready yet. Okay. Well, just 1 minute. We will bring on our special guest. Stay tuned, folks. Smash up that like. Actually, don't I have an asset for that? Let's see. Pretty sure that I do. Smash that like button. And after you're done smashing the like button, do me a huge favor and also subscribe to the channel.
Looks like APVO is trying to GO right now.
Let me bring APVO up here.
Yep. Getting piling in here.
Risk management above all. Indeed, Elon. Indeed.
Yeah, sorry, Humble Ninja. I didn't see your comment there, but I was yes, I was watching that just now. It looks like it's trying to chew through that big old wad of sell orders at 135. It's making its way through, but not very meaningfully. We need some more volume in this one.
APVO moving away from its VWAP here. If you took that curl, this is a good spot to trim some of that. Book some of the gains on the way up.
APVO still might go here. It's been reducing that sell order well, but like I said, volume needs to be better. Maybe it comes in a little bit, but it's got to be better than this.
EBS still grinding higher here.
Just switched over to EBS as well.
APVO is trying to go here. See if it takes that up. Becca says she thinks it'll go.
If we get that volume expansion, it could. We were not too far away from the pre-market high and the after-hours high. So, and I think it should, but that volume really needs to help us get above these or through these sell orders, which there are a pretty good number of between here and 160. It looks like.
Dandelions saying, I think it's time to short Snap. Dandelions, what is the reason for shorting Snap here? I guess we are kind of at the bottom of this consolidation area. Looks like we did kind of fill this gap. Maybe now you're looking for this to roll back over. Let me know what your thesis is here. I'm just guessing.
Wow, look at this candle in Carvana.
Is it a happy candle or I'm okay. So look, your first stop is your best stop. We're not going to sit around and get absolutely squeezed in any type of short position, no matter what it's on. Your first stop is your best stop.
Do you feel like you won now?
Yeah, I do. Sizu, Crow, this was a great call from earlier. This volume holding here and continuing to trade higher on Sizu. Tesla, by the way, hunting lows here.
Yeah, after 1195, which we're kind of close to in Sizu, then it looks like 1320 is the next upside target for Sizu, if we even get up through that 1195 level. Yeah, these
SGBX trying to go here.
Let's take a look at that. Oh yeah, trying to get up to 458. Is that what we're looking at here with this one?
458. That is going to be that is the high of that pre-market impulse move. This is trying here. Volume is expanding. It's exactly what we want to see there.
Yep. Go baby, go.
All right, it is 10 a.m. It is time for our special guest. Special guest, are you ready? Can I get a thumbs up if you're ready? Uh-oh. I don't know if he can hear me.
Move your arms around. Oh, SGBX looking good.
I think just one more minute, they said.
Oh, SGBX looking good. Got to crash through this 389, 390 wall here, which looks like it's about to do. And then we're going to 4. We're going to get this.
This does look like it's going to hit 4.
And it's whipping around. A little bit of a spread, about 6 to 10 cents.
Carvana is consolidating here.
Right, there we go. Here we go. We're doing it SGBX. Maybe another several minutes, if not now. EBS VWAP test. I'll take a look at that. I mean, EBS. I guess it depends on what you're looking at here, or what your broker says. My chart's saying it's been getting the VWAP's been getting harassed.
Yeah, it looks like we're right on it right here.
Yeah.
Gladys saying sqqq near your target here. Market showing no signs of slowing down here. We are close to that 1220. Be a nice little overnight trade there in the main account on sqqq. I'll take that.
I mean, you look at a daily chart on sqqq. This thing looks like it's going to break over 13.
Let's go ahead and do that. Let's flip over to that real quick. I'm going to give you a better here. This is what we can do. Boom, chart tool. We were taking a look at SBUX earlier. What we'll do is take a look at sqqq now.
Tim Rogers was asking about XOM. Real quick on that. I think it looks like it's going to head towards the 50-day SMA. I kind of like the support level at 114. There's a resistance level from October 19th, 2023, where it ran up and hit 113.97, and then that is when it came back all the way down to the lows of 2024. So I think that level 114 and the 50-day SMA is going to be a good bet to see the price stop going down, maybe consolidate before trying to head higher. Can't tell you where this is exactly going, but I would be looking at that 50-day SMA and that 114 level for a slowdown in the price selling off.
All right, sqqq continuing to trade higher here.
All right, so
taking a look at my scanner just to see if there's anything else that we haven't caught. This looks good. You're welcome, Tim. Thanks for the question. We really appreciate questions here. SPY near the lows here. We're going to test 500. Do we break it?
Let's see. Oh, we're almost at 500. Happy day.
Happy day.
Yeah, I'm ultimately bullish in the market, but I really do want to see this weakness. I want to see some corrective moves. I want to see the market go higher, but in order to do that, we do need some selling. We need some profit taking. We need to go lower. So I want to see that first, so we can, really start moving higher.
SPY is trying to bounce here off 500.
NTX. Things are having a hard time deciding what they want to do. EBS, that's had a bit of a knife there. ALLR still seems like this one's going to end up going to somewhere between 215 and 230 would be the first area I would look for some support in ALLR.
Crow saying, Root, I sold at the top. The breakup hurts. Oh, that's kind of funny, Crow.
Listen,
that is kind of funny.
Listen, that girlfriend will come around again.
STFU saying now maybe is the short opportunity for Carvana.
APVO with a knife.
All right, special guest, are you ready? I think that was a thumbs up. I can't tell. Yes, it was. All right, I'm sorry about all the delay. It was hard to see, hard to make it out. Fausto, welcome back, CEO of Cyber Trading University. Welcome back. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm good. How you guys doing? How you doing, Ryan? It looks like you guys are having fun. I see getting a little correction in the market after we had that big rally.
Indeed. So we are having fun. So really quickly here, technically today I'm 0 for 1 because I got stopped out of this Carvana short. The thesis was good. I just got stopped out. But overall, I'm doing quite well. What did you think about the Fed yesterday? I'll tell you what, that spike in the SPY, I scalped that thing 7 times in what felt like 20 minutes. I had all types of trading. I carried sqqq overnight. That's working here today too.
You know what? There's only certain times as a day trader when they do come out and do those speakings. They don't really like to do big surprises like that. I mean, we're still expecting like 6 corrections. Lowering the rate 6 times. Haven't done it yet all season, so they still haven't done anything. So yeah, you could. Is at that specific time that you could actually see and profit from that. But those only times you could trade those stocks that trade with the Fed rate. Like you got to trade the fabulous sevens, you got to trade the brand names like your Teslas, your AMDs, your Apples, all that. But yeah, you could have got in and out of it in those stocks all day long. But yeah, they were pretty good moving stocks. This morning, I don't know. I've not been a big fan of anything. There really hasn't been that much out there. I mean, there was a couple of companies that came out earnings. I know you're talking about Carvana a little bit, but Carvana, like, I can't believe Carvana drives me nuts because I owned that stock back last year. We were trading around like $6 and we sold it at 12, and then we bought it back at 20, and then it was hovering at this 2040. And I'm like, as a day trader, like we're too conservative. So like we moved our money someplace else. As a swing trader, because a day trader, you just trade over the course of the day. But it's been Carvana's been doing great long term, But there's been so much out there that we traded, so it doesn't really matter.
And here we go. Carvana actually looks like it might break down here. I'm gonna laugh if this ends up working out, and I just simply had some of those levels incorrect. ALR, by the way, folks, breaking down now through that 238 level that we had identified earlier. So, okay, so you're not seeing anything great here today. Let me ask you, are you excited for the earnings plays tonight? I know you watch order flow, but I'm just wondering if you have any lead on some of the earnings tonight. I know we get Apple and Coinbase after the bell here today.
Well, just to let you know, getting back to Carvana, there's a huge buyer, 10,000 shares at 116. If it gets past it, he's done. He just got filled. Not really a good sign. So he just got going
lower. Like I said, I think that, by the way, STFU, pardon me, Fausto, STFU is the handle of one of the people here in the chat, just to be clear. Nice call there on the short because it did actually break down from that VWAP. Now it looks like it's losing that 116, just soaked up that buyer that Fausto told you about. We might have some moves lower here on Carvana. Okay, I'm sorry. I interrupted you, Fausto. My apologies.
That's okay. So you talk about the Apple that's moving on. Yeah, I mean, Apple's going to obviously is a big leader of the market just in general. And, I did a couple of really cool YouTube videos, shorts too, the 60-second ones, if anybody's surprised to our channel, about how to trade Apple. Apple's got a lot of support right around that 170. I had some videos where I showed you about 200,000 share buyers at a holding there. And Apple, long term, I mean, like there's something that we call a ladder effect, which is like you have orders and algorithms. That's what makes these support resistance levels. And they've just been hovering here around 175 and 168. So unless they come out with something super surprising, I mean, I'm not expecting it. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like, what new did Apple come out with? You know what I mean? What have they, but they try to come out with these goggles, these new things, but they want like $3,000 for them. I heard they didn't sell too many of them. No one's been a big fan. They're trying to They're trying to tap into something else. So it's not really, I'm not probably expecting anything crazy that's going to come out of Apple.
Yeah, but, you're absolutely right on that. The one thing that I'm going to be looking for here, this is what our group has been kind of kicking around here, is we are expecting a serious move into AI for Apple. And so part of me wonders, do we hear about that here today? Do they mention anything about that? Do they give us any clarity? Do they whet the appetite for anyone looking for an Apple AI product? I don't know what the answer is to that. I'm not confident enough to put my money behind it, but that's one of the things I'm going to be looking for from tonight's report.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm a huge fan of AI, and I think it's here to stay. You know,
I agree.
And it's been but that rally has kind of like died out a little bit. You saw what happened with Nvidia, you know, and you've seen what happened with supercomputers, SMCI. Like Nvidia's on its way down right now. I mean, like it's that started right around January when we had Nvidia broke through a big iceberg order, you know, after 500, and now it's like hovering here, almost got to that 1,000, never broke it. It's holding here pretty strong. Supercomputers, which maybe a lot of people didn't even realize that was even big. That came out, you know, went from 200 to 1,200. That was really the big move. But you could see things started to dwindle down. You know, it's been really doing really well. Pot stocks, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we've been doing really well on the pot stocks. I did a big video on it. Like also our traders did really well on that too. And some people don't realize that there's just so many of them out there with the pot stocks. I mean, you had CGC, you know, that one had a big pop, 6 to 14, ACB, GRWG, SNDL. I mean, all those, and then you had the ETFs. Some people didn't realize it, MJ and SM. I mean, there's so many of an industry, but now they're starting to dwindle down. Like the thing about day traders, and that what we try to kind of look at is that some people are like, how do you find these stocks? Because you're doing pretty much the same thing that we do, and it's like, and then you know, and that's part of that being a team. Is that sometimes, you know, everyone's like, oh, yeah, that industry's moving. That means this one's going to move, you know, and then you start seeing it. Things will follow with it. Like this morning, I mean, the big news that's going on is car, you know, so Carvana came out with big news, and then all of a sudden you got Budget that made a big move. And then all of a sudden Hertz is starting to make a little bit move. Everything follows suit with it. So you got to kind of like, you know, what's the flavor of the day, but just every trader out there has to understand that there's always something that's moving in an industry, or there's something moving, you know, in a stock that will move a certain industry, and everything will follow suit with it. And that's really what we kind of focus on. And the main goal that if anybody could take anything out of it, I know you guys will understand this too, is just try to focus on your day's pay. You know, just make your day's pay, end of the day, and come back tomorrow. And if you didn't do that well, don't worry about it. It's part of the game. You know?
Yeah, I'm a big proponent in saying don't try to be a hero, right? When you try to be a hero and you try to take outsized risks, that's when the bad things happen. That's when it knocks you out and you can't come back. The biggest thing is being able to come back the next day, even if you lost the day before.
You're gonna lose. It's part of the game.
Part of it.
You know?
Just did it this morning.
Yeah, you're gonna lose. You know what the big thing? Like yesterday, I did a class, and we took a loss on a stock. We actually did something which you're not really supposed to do too much, is averaging down. But we just had no choice because we had a bad position on the first trade, but we were at a major support. Like I'll give you an example. Like you just brought up Carvana, big support level, big buyer out there at that 116. You know what? Like, you know what? There was a big order out there. I'm like, you know what? Let's just buy it. You know, average down, and then once it broke it, it's like game over. You got to take a loss, because if you didn't, it dropped all the way down to 115. So you could lose $1 like that. And like, you know, when you, depending on how many shares you trade, it's you know, that could be an issue.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened here to me. And I wasn't even, you know, overly loaded in this. I think I had like 150 shares. I'm just trying to play some of the action there. So I didn't even get overloaded in this. Really quick, Fausto, I know you look a lot at money flow. You see anything interesting on ticker EBS? I know this is kind of a smaller stock here today. This thing has put in a huge move here in the pre-market. The volume looks good. We are just pounding the highs right now. Volume seems to be expanding. We're moving away from the VWAP. We took out the pre-market high here. This thing looks like it's got some mo. You got any levels for the group here?
I'm glad you brought that up, because we actually had that stock on our watch list this morning. You know, we start trading around 8 o'clock in the morning, and it was on my watch list. And we're actually my traders are in it right now in the room. They're all trading it right now. So there was a big order out there at $4. He was out there for about 62,000 shares. He just pulled his order at 10:12. All right. When he pulled that order, there was an order that got filled in at 3:30. He got filled, and then now the stock is obviously pushing up pretty nicely. That's probably one of the only really good stocks that are really moving today. I mean, I'm not a big fan of trading expensive stocks because why should I trade a stock like Carvana when I could trade? Why would I trade a $116 stock when I could trade this one at $3.50? You know what I mean? It's all about risk to reward. So this stock, yeah, had a big push. It had a big order out there. You know, it did its big pop at 9:30, which you could see where we're from 280 up to 330. But then it backed off. It tested. There was a big order out there. Someone was buying it at 310, and it came right down to him. And then boom, that's where you had your slingshot. And listen, 310 to 370 right now, you know, we're making it in a matter of, what is that, about 10 minutes, 1,000 shares. If you do the math on that, Ryan, that's a 60-cent move, 1,000 shares, $600, $100,000 salary. I think a lot of people here will be happy with that.
I mean, $600 in 10 minutes is good. I don't care where you're from. It's that simple. $600 in 10 minutes, we'll take that. And even better, if you have a really good process approach, you can actually stack that, do that multiple times throughout the course of the day here. Okay, really good stuff here this morning. 13, I noticed that you were just seeing here, buyers came into that SPY after falling under 500. We are trying to defend 500 there. Either of you have any thoughts on where we go here from that 500 level?
You want to go ahead and start there, Fasto? I mean, personally, it looks to me it's like we have a bear flag, but what do you think?
On which stock you talking about?
SPY, SPY.
On the SPYs. So yeah. Looking at the SPYs, I mean, listen, it's got a lot of support levels here at this 500. It breaks this, we're going to have some major issues. I mean, and that's another thing I want to point out that traders don't understand, something that I was taught as a market maker. Most people will and options obviously have a lot to do with it too. Be very careful of whole numbers, like, you know, 500 is a big number. When I talked about Nvidia, 1,000 is a whole number. People have orders out there. If you notice that the SPY, you know, basically hit that 500 is bouncing right there. But that's not really the number I would be concerned too much about. It's got a lot of support levels right around 497-ish, I would say, 98. So if it does back off, don't freak out. That's really the number I really be concerned about, because if you go back in like February and then mid-April, that's really the number you should be focused on. The only thing I'm a little concerned about the SPYs, it's something that we call a higher low. And what happened is that it's been obviously been having a nice rally since November. It's got a high. But when we had that big drop back in the beginning of April, we dropped all the way below 500. We did come back at the end of April, and it peaked out at around like 510. You know, it's kind of like it's starting to build that head. Some people call it a head and shoulders, or a peak and valley. We just kind of call that a high low. High lows, you got to be worried about it, because it doesn't break that next high and doesn't get past that. That's not a good sign. Then it means you're making a new lower low, and that's where you got to be a little concerned. But listen, there's so many stocks out there to trade. The SPYs are nice to trade if you can trade some brand names. But you know, when you go back to that EBS, less risk, more reward. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, I'm just always in the habit of watching SPY because I watch the market every day anyway. And by the way, while we were talking here, SPY did a red to green move off that level there. Also worth noting here, you were given some levels there on SPY, 496.41. So let's call that 497-ish. That is where your 100-day moving average is on SPY. So that definitely seems to be a level. Okay. So you got... Go ahead.
498.38 is the 5% pullback level, so that's why you're likely seeing a lot of price action right there too.
There you go. So that's a really good mention. Couple of levels under that 500. Fausto, I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying, sir, it's just right there. You know what I mean? But like 2 points, and that's a lot. You know what I mean? It's not like, you compare that to like the Dow. I mean, that's a big move. One stock that's also moving that some of you probably didn't look at, it's also moving pretty nicely. It's just the volume's a little light, is ASPN. That's something also we've been looking at right now that's been moving up, that's been trading. Just had a nice little pop for about $1.
Yeah, this actually looks like it just broke that intraday high here.
Broke 52-week highs. You know, it's up 42%. Wow. That one's obviously moving pretty well. You're also getting a couple of good bottom fishing that we like to call, like some dead cat bounces. There was a lot of earnings that came out this week, and it's just not focusing just on Apple that's coming out. A lot of them came out, and you saw what happened with Carvana. But FSLY, got really beat up after hours, and it's starting to come back a little bit. That one's doing pretty decent on a dead cat bounce.
We were
So
thinking
there
about
are
calling
things out
this.
there.
We were
Yeah.
thinking about calling this slowly, by the way. What do you think about that? Fastly, slowly, because it got destroyed and it's coming back all slow. Sorry, that's a joke.
No, makes sense. But listen, what happens that sometimes things get crushed so much that people they got to have no choice. They got to average down. They're
Yeah.
like, well, I can't afford to take a loss here. I mean, and sometimes you can't really see that happening, but sometimes you don't have a choice. People we don't really recommend to do that. It's a sucker's bet. But as a day trader, if those people come in and you can start seeing the orders starting to come in and start bidding up, hell, why not? You know what I mean? Let them, that's their money. But for us, that's something that we will focus on. And and there's also a lot of good shorts out there too. So some people need to also look at it that don't always focus on long. Whatever goes up comes down twice as fast. You got Wolf that's really breaking lower lows. There's no orders out there. No orders, no support, 52-week low. Stock can still go down 21 points. If people don't look at it that way, they're like, what do you mean 21 points? These things that you have to look at as, been doing this for years and sitting at how do you know that's going to actually happen? That's it. We don't have no allegiance to any of these stocks. We're just here to kind of just focus on our day's pay.
Okay, real quick here, and we'll get you out of here. I know your time is valuable. Christoph has a question for you. As a market maker, do they pay attention to the previous day VWAP?
Listen, every day is a new adventure. We always call. So yes, you might look at it from yesterday, but yet what happened yesterday, that's yesterday. We focus on what's in the future. And the future is the most important because things could change like that. You know what I mean? And you might look at the VWAP from yesterday, but things could change. And all of a sudden, boom, you might get a 250,000 share seller out there, and could change everything. So it's all about, as a market maker, you watch those people run around on the floor of the exchange. You're like, well, they're not even there anymore because it's like, basically everything's electronic. Yeah. Everybody's working in their office, but they walk around those tablets and here you are, you got 6-7 monitors. How these guys actually watch on the tablet? They're just seeing where the orders are. And we just see where, okay, we know who's this person, Goldman Sachs, we know he's a big market maker in that stock. Oh, he just showed up. Boom, he went out there and put 30,000, 50,000 shares on it, which the stock only averages about maybe, every order is probably between 1,000, 2,000. That's really got to focus on. So be very careful. You might see the VWAP works really well over the intraday. But things could change in a moment's time. That's why you got to follow, the big block orders out there, the algorithms, the high frequency trades, the dark pools that we always talk about. That's really the strategy that we focus on. Okay.
All right. Really good stuff, Fausto. Where can anyone else, find you and your group? Where can they go to see more of you?
So I'm actually, if anybody wants to know a little bit more, today at 12 o'clock, I will be doing if you want to know about order flow and you want to know how to follow iceberg orders, I just put that link in there. You can copy and paste it, but it's ctu.co/BZ or lowercase, and just register there. And at 12 o'clock, I'll be doing a live trading for about an hour. I'll answer all your questions. I'll show you exactly how we find these stocks, how to follow these orders, how market makers trade, how to more read the future and everything else, and how to use Benzinga towards it, because that's the key. A lot of you Benzinga traders, and you basically, we trade with the platform. There's not so many platforms we use at Cyber Trading, other than your direct access broker, and Benzinga and the order flow tool. That's basically all we kind of use. And then we'll show you a little bit more about it. But if you want to, and if you can't make it, don't worry about it. It will be recorded. We'll email it to you, and you could actually watch it later if you can't make it. But if you want to follow order flow and how to find these stocks and what makes a move, it's definitely a great opportunity to be there. And like I said, and we use Benzinga all the time. So if you like it, you like the platform, want to know how to tweak it a little bit more, it's definitely a great opportunity for you.
Absolutely. And like I've always said, there is not one right way to do things. It is the way that you figure out how to make yourself profitable and stay profitable. That is the right way to do things. Your tools have a lot to do with that. Fausto, can't thank you enough. I'll tell you what, for those that can't make it today, we're going to have you back. How about that? We're going to have you back again, and we'll go ahead and mention the next time that you're doing one of those webinars. Really appreciate it. Any closing comments for today?
What's that?
Any closing comments here for today?
Listen, one of the big closing comments is obviously you got to learn before you can earn. Okay. You got to learn how to lose before you can win. You know what I mean? Can't be afraid to lose in it, and you got to trade. You got to trade. So if you want to, and if you don't trade, you're sitting a deer in the headlights. You're never gonna learn. But you got to have a mentor. You got to be with a good group of traders. You got to feel comfortable with people you surround yourself with. I might not be the right person, but you should listen to some other people over and over again. What is your style? Another thing I always tell everybody that, listen, if you're not making money within 60 to 90 days doing what you're doing, you obviously, whoever trained you is not your style, or maybe it's not your style. So listen, if you're not a day trader, the options not working for you, you got to try a little bit of everything. But I tell you one thing, it is the greatest job. You are your own boss. You can come and go whenever you please, but you gotta surround yourself with people that are very good at it. And you got to make sure that you understand it and people how they explain it good to you to make it very successful. So, but just you got to learn before you can earn. And, thanks guys. You're doing a great job having everyone here and, getting everyone rallied up and kind of educating them, because that is probably the best, most important thing, being part of a room, listening to other people, what they're looking at. But remember, you got to hit the button at the end of the day. So you got to learn how to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good stuff, Fausto. Again,
Thanks,
I know
Fausto.
I know you're busy. Thank you for taking time out of your morning to share some of your expertise with us. Again, I'll go ahead and throw that link in the chat. I did it once. Here it is again. If you want to see more of Fausto, go check him out. Awesome stuff, Fausto.
Thanks, thanks for having me. I look forward to having being back. I look forward to seeing everybody at 12.
No problem. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you again shortly. Smash up the like for our guy, Fausto. Really, really appreciate that. Again,
EBS.
Say again?
Sorry to cut you off there, but EBS, woo, what a move.
Woo, that it is breaking even higher here. See, we continue to see the expanding volume. EBS really pushing away from the VWAP here. Awesome stuff. Definitely think trimming into this move is probably a really good idea after this push. Said that a few times now that we've traded up here. So giddy up, and congratulations to any of you that are in this. Let's go ahead and throw those one-ups out there. We are rolling. By the way, the SPY is bouncing.
He's up. He's up good on EBS. So just saying.
Boom, boom. Rodrigo looks like hot rod out here trading EBS 2, holding from 270. Let's go. Love to see all of the winning and all of the dubs out here in the chat today. Awesome stuff.
Yeah, EBS stands for everybody satisfied.
It's so well done. You do it so naturally. I think that's the best. Oh, that's good stuff.
Well, just trying to find out what's next here. Gosh, what a great move. I know it's not a great move for if you're long, but with 3M, we nailed that one. Well, so far.
Bring 3M up here.
Yeah, I think this does end up going lower over the summer. We just need to find out when that, because that's the thing I think we need to watch for is when they announce that dividend, because they haven't announced that yet. So if it's going to be lower, then it's getting cut. I think Sizu might try to go again.
Okay, let me bring that up here, and we will monitor Sizu here.
The volume needs to be better, but it's starting to push away from VWAP. It's being held up by VWAP right now, and it's starting to move a little bit away from it, but not a great amount of volume. Real quick, Scott, this is actually not a scanner. So what you're seeing on the good question, though, what you're seeing on the screen here is the Trade the Pool broker. This is the prop firm that sponsors our stream here. This is where I'm executing orders for this particular prop firm broker. I do have a scanner, however, that sometimes you do see. So I wanted to be clear about that. Here it is. This is Benzinga Pro. And if you were just here for Fausto's presentation, this is actually one of the tools that Cyber Trading University students and traders use for many different reasons. Over here on the left-hand side is the scanner. And this scanner is scanning for intraday relative volume. So, Scott, depends what it is specifically that you're asking for. The scanner is through Benzinga Pro. The trading broker that you see here, this one is Trade the Pool. You are most welcome, my man. Wow, EBS just absolutely squeezing. So this one is the trade of the day. Oh, my God, look at this. Rodrigo,
we're going to give Rodrigo a register ring, and we're going to give Rodrigo a 1-up. Rodrigo, I got to know, where is your trim target? Where are you selling some of this position?
This thing should halt if it keeps doing this. It should halt at some point.
476, I think, right? Let me. Oh, they didn't hold it there. It's coming back in off that spot.
Wow. This wild price action. I bet they're trading the heck out of it in Fausto's group.
We're trading the heck out of it right
We're trading the heck out of it here. Yeah.
Today's life is up almost 10 G's on this baby.
Jeez.
Let's go.
Just looking around for some other things. Man, ALR.
So by the way, so we just this is awesome. We just had Fausto on. We just said goodbye to him. I just clicked on one of my other screens here. I got an email from him. Thanks for having me on. Look out for EBS to break the big seller at 4 because it could halt. Well, I think he was spot on with that call. Wow. Way to go.
So if you're watching, thank you.
Nice. Jay's Life using I love this. Jay's Life using a trailing stop here to make sure that when you have a push up like this, you get some of those gains booked. Jay, now officially the register ring, really, really good stuff there. Like that fire up. Just another Thursday for us traders. You know, Fausto did say this is the best job. He's absolutely right about that. Real good days make for real short days.
So I've noticed that CVNA might run up to 120 and then get rejected. If you look at like a 5-minute chart from the last pop that we had right before the open, if you draw a trend line to that across the top of every single pop that we had, we've got a bit of a downtrend line that I think it's either going to try to break out of or get rejected at. But it seems like that comes up to about 120 where it could meet that trend line.
So you're looking at this, like right in here?
Yes.
Okay.
So maybe, I mean, if there's a trade here in CVNA and we're trading, trying to capture some upside, I think it might go to 120. And I don't know what's going to happen afterwards, but my first thought is that it might get rejected here, just seeing as how it's been doing that 3 times already. Maybe it breaks out. I don't know. But I think for a trade like $1 or $2, you could probably get that here if we touch this trend line.
Okay. There you go. Really good stuff there on Carvana. By the way, SPY continuing to bounce here a little bit. So that 500 area really doing well here. We're actually above the VWAP here. I'll tell you this, for sqqq, we'll go ahead and bring that up here just to make sure I get these gains. Remember, I can buy this back any day I want. Stop now set here at 12, right? So I know I was telling you earlier I wanted 12.20. We actually got that pulled back in. Looks like the market's going to go higher here. So if sqqq hits 12, we'll be out on that. We'll book those gains, and we're going to keep watching sqqq because these have been some of the best trades recently. Super liquid.
Yeah, on the 5-minute, I have a couple of EMAs right there at 12. So 12 does seem like a really good level. Yep.
We're just going to, that's actually the daily pivot is at 12 even. 12 even. S-Bucks, we talked about that earlier. I wonder if Monica's still around. S-Bucks looks like it could pop here, says Kevin. Indeed, S-Bucks, look at that move down. We reclaimed the VWAP on some decent volume. Starbucks here looks like this is not quite red to green, right? Because it's sold off here. Let's see here. No, Starbucks did. I beg your pardon. We did go red to green here. It was the earnings per day ago. Ryan, come on, wake up. Starbucks did go red to green here. Let's see if we can actually pop and go higher here. Again, I'm not interested in Starbucks. I'm assuming some of you are long on this one.
Very low RSI on the daily, so there's definitely potential here for rebound. But like I said earlier, I don't know that we're going to fill this gap and come back up to what, 85. I don't think we're coming back up. It looks like we have a bear pennant or bear flag in the process of forming. So we'll see what happens with S-Bucks. Yeah.
I'm not. Oh, by the way, just saw someone asked about DKNG earlier. Did see some calls come across the unusual option activity tool here. See, those were the 45.5 calls that expire in May. Not a huge purchase though, but an aggressive purchase, just not huge in size.
Aspen new highs, ASPN. CZU Also returning back to 1195 level. Trying to get over to 12. Not sure if it's going to. I think this was Crow. Were you saying that this might go back up to 12 and then get rejected? Somebody said it. I'm not sure who it was. I think it might have been Crow. Yeah, EBS pulling back a bit. This is going to probably. I'm going to watch and see if EBS starts to put in some kind of flagging formation here, since we got that consolidation that we're going through right now between, what is this, 420 and 475
on CZU? No.
No,
I'm sorry. What ticker?
EBS. Smoke Tuna mentioning ZVSA.
Smoke Tuna saying bonjour. Good. Hello, Smoke Tuna. Nice of you to join us here today.
That is the weirdest looking formation ever. It's like going up, but all the candles are red.
Yeah, that is weird. That is indeed weird looking. EBS coming back in towards 4. EBS up 120% here today.
Nice stuff.
ALL. I'm just kind of going through some of the names on my scanner. ALR may be curling here. This was a really big disappointment. Hit the top end of that range, and then it was just a short. How did ENVX do? This is another one here from this morning. This actually looks like it just regained the VWAP. Let's see if we make another run towards that high here. Got it at what, 892, so just about $9.
Looking around for some things here. So CZU did break through 12. It's slightly above that right now, but it's gonna wait and see if it can take out that 1230. It actually went right up there and got rejected. So I'm a little concerned that this might be double topping. We need to push through that so it doesn't.
And again, I'm sorry. Which stock? CZU?
Yeah.
I keep missing the stock callouts.
Yeah, well, just looking to see what I'm looking at. 2 stocks right now to see what they do. EBS and MNDR. MNDR had that big pop, and then it came right back in, and just kind of went, sideways along the VWAP. I'm wondering if we're
just crazy.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're going to see we're going to see a curl and a pop again. So I'm just kind of watching to see if that's what happens here. Looks like things are slowing down a little bit. Still haven't done that return to that trend line, that CVNA that I was talking about earlier. So waiting for that to happen too, if it does at all. Looks like EBS is starting to push up for the next move. Trying to anyway. What are we seeing out there, guys? I know ain't no problem, Kenny, man. I know we're is EBS taking the stairs? I know we're kind of slow at the moment right now, but it looks like EBS is going to give us some more wins if it can push up just a little bit more, take out some of these big old walls, these sell order walls.
ENVX right above its VWAP.
Root still slowly leaking. I'm sorry, Crow. APVO had a pop to VWAP and came back in. And then DR looks like we're starting to get going here. Here we go. This is the move I was looking for. Holy
what
cow.
was the ticker? Sorry.
This is MNDR.
MNDR.
This is what I was wondering if it was going to do or not, and it's starting to do it, but I don't know how much I'll get out of this. But that consolidation above VWAP was looking pretty good, and so I thought maybe it was worth watching. And we got a pop here. Let's see if we can get some more out of this. And then we're still waiting for, what was the other one I mentioned that I was watching?
CYCC getting mentioned. This was a recent runner here. CYCC. This
EBS.
trade here today.
We got Rusta mentioning PBM and Smoke Tuna mentioning SGMD. I'll take a look at those. PBM.
SGMD is not a ticker.
I mean, PBM, we've been consolidating like all morning. The high that we have here in intraday is 128. The low I have at 109. We're looking for a breakout here in PBM, Rustam. Is that what's happening? It's entirely possible. I think we're going to need much more volume than this to get
is
through
super low
139.
volume. This isn't even doing anything today. There's no volume here.
Smoke Tuna with AVTX. This is another old girlfriend from I don't know how long ago, I believe. Oh, okay, I see here. So the pop out of the gate up to 1742. It's low volume, but that's what we're trying to take out here. And I think this candle that you're talking about here with AVTX is going to try and do that. Very low volume though. I'm not sure if this is something I'm going to touch, but wow, look at Sizu. It made new highs and came back in. This one in EDS seemed like to be one of the best, two of the best trades today. So congratulations for all that have been.
Yeah, and Sizu, this Crow, you have been on Sizu for a long time here.
All right, what's happening here with EBS? It still looks like it's holding in there, but I'm getting concerned. I want to see this volume increase and rip through the 340 area.
Again, which ticker?
EBS.
I'm sorry, I'm really struggling to pick up the tickers that you're mentioning here today.
No worries, I'm probably mumbling the hell out of these words anyway.
This EBS does look like it wants to try and curl here off 420. APVO moving on the scanner.
Hopefully EBS won't just kill the bulls and just get shorted to the VWAP again.
Did Carvana ever? Yeah. No, it's still kind of in that same range. That trend line that you mentioned here, still choice on Carvana.
Yeah, Nicholas Lavelle, you're right. There are quite a bit of sell orders. Actually, for me, it starts a little bit earlier than that, but no, I get you. I think this thing is still going to try to move up here. Just need to get that volume expansion, and we good to go. I think you mean of 430s, right? Or because we're above $4 now. Everybody
curls with 420.
I was trying to think of something to say about that. I was like, "Where's Voodoo at?" Or,
Randy beat you to it. That's maybe that was Lynn, but I suspect that was Randy. Sometimes I can tell. Sometimes I get it wrong. SMFL near the highs here. Smoke Tuna. I don't like the volume on this. I actually want to see that expand a little bit. ALLR, yeah, Tony, it might be. I mean, it's kind of struggling to get off the bottom. Again, same deal here with the volume. Would love to see this kind of increase a little bit to give us that curl. Maybe a move back to the bottom of that channel there at 238. Wouldn't be a bad move from where we're at right now either. I just don't know if it's got the juice to do that.
This move in ALLR is off the 20 EMA on the 5-minute, and it is coming up to the 65, where I think it could end up getting rejected. So let's say 12:15. That could be a spot where it gets rejected. And I see that there are some sell orders starting at 197 and going as high as 215 that are pretty large in size.
EBS move down here. We'll see if this holds 4 on EBS. That market bounce looks like that's kind of slowed down. Market kind of rolling over here.
All right, so we've got a lot of sell orders coming in for EBS. Might be pushing this stock down some more. Let's see what happens here. Sizu coming back to VWAP.
Now that one I heard.
Okay.
That one I got. Blueprint Medicines Company. This appear. I don't know if I've ever pulled this ticker up here. Nice little gap up on this.
All right, that forecast coming with EVS. Doesn't look like it's going to get a lot of support unless we get some more orders to come in here. We're getting mentioned for VFS. That's the Vietnamese car company.
No, it's VinFast. VFS,
yeah.
That's VinFast.
Yeah, that's the Vietnamese car company.
Oh, okay.
VinFast Auto.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Stay focused. Good morning. It's great to see you here. What's cooking? What's cooking? You were present for our discussion on sqqq yesterday. That is still carried over. We're still in sqqq. Did try a Carvana short here today that didn't work, but getting some pretty good action here this morning. Big one here has been one of these smaller guys, EBS, just an absolute monster move on volume. That's probably been the big one of the day here. Hopefully you're doing well. What are you trading here today? Stay focused.
Yeah, EBS is trying to turn around here and go higher. Maybe this is the bull flag we were looking for. The high is 476. This upward move would have to take this out if we're going to get that full resolution of the flag. Large cap, brother.
Which large cap stock are you looking at here today? I know you're a Google fan. I'm just trying to figure out what it is that you're trading here today. And what do you think about Apple? And does anyone have any thoughts on Apple? I know we kind of talked about that a little bit earlier. I don't know if I ever came to the group for you guys. Do any of you folks have thoughts on what Apple might do, how it might trade after the print?
Yeah, we talked about how we think their earnings might not be great, but I think the real important news is going to come from the conference call. And we're also going to be looking for anything that they have to say about why they've been acquiring all these AI companies. I think it's been 7 over the past year or two. They've acquired 7 companies, with their most recent one being Darwin AI, that Canadian one. So yeah, I want to hear them explain themselves as to why they're getting all these AI companies and what they intended to, like, how they intend to deploy that into their products.
You know, the other thing is we might not get that.
And that
right, like they might not say anything, or they might be vague about it, which would kind of be a bummer.
Yeah, because I think that's all that anybody wants to hear about with that company right now. I'm sure that there's a lot of traders thinking, okay, well, yeah, they're a lot of exposure to China. China's not doing well, so their sales figures are probably lower. They're losing market share to Huawei with their phones over in Asia. So maybe that segment over there in Asia is going to be lower, and it's going to freak people out, and they're going to want to leave Apple. But I think they really need to throw their investors a bone and give them something exciting. And I think the most exciting thing that we can hope for is something on the AI front. Because if you look at their product lineup, it's nothing. It's same stuff for the next 2 years. What, they're coming up with a foldable phone in 2027? Who cares? Look at EBS go now.
EBS. I was going over some of the comments here in the chat. Mixed on Gladys. Good morning, Gladys. Saying mixed on Apple, playing both sides, wondering if it will have the Tesla effect post earnings. Okay, we'll see if it goes down here. Russell's saying I'm bearish on Apple. Russell's looking for this to move lower here. I totally see that. Stay focused. Apple down hard for me. So I think Apple's really kind of going to sell off here. That would be interesting. I tell you what, if we get now you're messing with me. Now you're getting me to think, should I hold sqqq? Because I'll tell you what, if Apple's down hard tomorrow, we might have another leg up on this sqqq trade. And it's kind of small, so I don't really have a lot where I'm thinking, maybe book some now and sell some later. I'm kind of looking for the whole move here. So you guys got me thinking about that.
That could happen, and I want to kind of also put this out there too. Another thing that could happen that we have been seeing and talking about a lot is rotation into other Mag 7s. So if Apple doesn't do well, what's one that they could probably go in that hasn't been that's been hammered recently, but still looks like it could be a good place to just park your money? I mean, is that going to be Microsoft? Is that going to be Google? Is that going to be Amazon? It could be one of those. I don't think they'll necessarily want to rotate into Tesla. Maybe temporarily they would, but I think they'd want to kind of stick out with some of these other these other big names that have pretty solid revenue streams, because I think there's a big question mark with Tesla right now on whether or not they're going to be able to keep their sales up.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Jay here saying Apple's going to be interesting. QCOM was good, but QRVO and Skyworks were bad. All of them supply Apple. Jay, I think you're right on that. I think that's what makes the market, right? We've looked into a couple of the suppliers there, and it's kind of mixed. So we'll wait and see. And that's also one of the reasons why we're focusing so much on this potential AI announcement, because I feel like we've seen that with some of these other companies. That's really will kind of drive this. So I don't know. I have no position on Apple. I mean, I'm still holding it long term. So I mean, long term, I guess I'm bullish. But as far as a trading position, I've got nothing new on it yet.
No, and I'm going to echo that too. Long term, like over a year from now, I'm bullish too. That's why I'm starting to build my position. I want to build it into the weakness, and I think we're just getting that start into the weakness. We're going to get more for sure, in my opinion. We're going to get a lot more, and as we start to go down, there's different levels where I would like to add. So that's my plan. It might take a while to get completely into the position I want to, which is fine. But once we start turning around, I'll be selling into that strength, and that's basically the whole plan I have with Apple. And I think it'll take longer than a year from now.
Okay, real quickly here, Stay Focused asking, where is that comment? Stay Focused saying, what is the implied move? So I have the implied move on Apple, $7.68. I get that by taking the near-term call, adding it to the near-term put, and multiplying that by 80. 80.8, excuse me, not 80.8, 80%. And that gives me an implied move of $7.68. Let me know if that's what you got.
There's ZVSA finally with that pop. First big green candle of the day. I think that was Crow or Jay, whoever it was that was looking for that to move. Great job.
By the way, Viking, we talked a little bit about this yesterday. They had their IPO yesterday. Didn't do a whole lot. Rising here. Good mention, Smoke Tuna. I took this off my screen. For
a day that we were expecting there to be, down pretty significantly, this has been some really good trading.
Yeah, it sure has. And did well holding that sqqq position. That's actually right here at its VWAP on sqqq. So we'll see here. EBS looks like it might be trying to take out that high. Tesla's trying to bounce off of its low. Bitcoin at highs of the day after its recent shellacking.
Yeah, that thing had some serious selling. I was man, I loved that call. I was telling folks, if we lose 62,000, it's likely going to lose 60 and go under. Sure enough, that's what we did. We lost that 62 one day, and then it didn't take long before we went under 60.
Oh, I missed this comment, Jay. If they sell Apple, they may well indeed buy Google and Amazon. I'm sorry I missed this. You might have mentioned that, 13. I'm sorry about that. This is actually something to watch for a potential trade too.
I was mentioning, if they do sell Apple, they'll probably rotate into other Mag 7s that are doing well. And I was pointing out some of the ones that could do that. Not sure they would do that with Tesla, but as Jay had pointed out, the good ones like Amazon, Google, Microsoft, those could be the ones they hide out in.
Okay, I love this too here, real quick. Jay, I appreciate you sharing this. I really like what Christian Fromhertz does. This is all process, so you're going to get this highlighted anytime. He puts together a list of all of the names that had good reactions to earnings and puts out alerts when they pull back at a 7 to 21 day moving average. I'm assuming those are simple moving averages. A 7 and a 21. Let me know if that's the case. I like this though. And I like that this is like a process that you can reuse, right? It's not dependent on an individual stock. That's my favorite.
Real quick, CVNA is is beelining right for that trend line. And also Brett Green saying, in my opinion, AI is going to go to the way of the .coms. I believe that to be 100% true as well. Here we go with CVNA.
A really good call on this trend line. We'll see what happens here. I've got it on screen. As far as that .com goes, though, remember, a lot of those .com businesses failed, but there are plenty of .coms still here today, right? So I think, Brett, what you're saying there is that a lot of these, kind of smaller, maybe fake players in the AI name don't survive, but the real ones do and become really important. I mean, Amazon was part of the .com, and it is literally one of the most important companies in the market today.
Yeah. So it's like looking for the ones that are going to survive, and then it's ignoring all the other ones because
Yep.
they'll probably end up getting picked up, acquired, or die.
Look at this right here. This looks to be kind of finding some resistance at that trend line 13. It's almost like you figured something out here.
I may have. So if anybody got that trade on, congratulations. This was we set this up right here for you, and this is looking like it's going to be pretty good. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to reverse here and go down. This was just the trade. It could end up going through this trend line and go higher, but for the purposes of why I drew this trend line, I was looking at where the price was, and it was still down, and it was like $2 away, I think. And I said, well, we could get a pop up to this trend line and then get rejected here. So far, with that candle on the 5-minute, that's exactly what happened. Now, we could end up going through this if more orders start to come in and try to push it through. Otherwise, then, yeah, we're going to go back to the VWAP.
Okay, really good stuff there. Really good stuff there on Carvana. Well, we're having a good day today, folks. Having a good day. You love to see it.
Yeah, you know, that's Smoke Tuna. That's something that I keep forgetting about was, yeah, they were originally a bookseller. And then remember when they got into the Kindle Fire and all these other like small tablet devices so you could continue your book reading, but it was more of a digital transformation. That was I thought that was interesting. It seemed like that was really the big shift away from printing books and into reading on stories in PDF format. Has Spucks needs AI? I'll tell you what, Lynn. If they do, then they have to call it Barista AI.
Yeah, they do. I'm thinking the market will run into the close. What say you? Nothing would surprise me. I guess maybe my position is causing me to say I hope that doesn't happen. Stay focused. I think you might be right, though. Real quick, trailing stop, if you will. Stop point on sqqq right at 12. So if we do continue to trade up here, we'll make sure we get that trade booked for gains and then look to reset it when we get another entry opportunity.
If we do rally into the close, that's what he's asking, right?
Yeah, he's asking. He thinks the market will run into the close. What is our opinion of that?
I couldn't tell you what it's going to do into the close. If we do get a rally, I'll just tell you some levels I'll be watching for from where we're at now. We've already opened above 503, so it wouldn't be surprising if we retook that. But if we do rally and get more upside, I mentioned the 20-day SMA earlier. I think that's going to be the one to watch. We've got multiple rejections on that one, that moving average. I think that's where we need to keep our eyes open. Is right there, and that currently is at just a couple pennies shy of 507.
So there you go. Stay focused. All right, we just got a couple of minutes left here, and we're going to get rolling here for the day. Really good stuff here today.
Oh,
13.
Yeah, fantastic.
You guys were all on it. 13, you were on it. Chat was on it. Fausto, great job here again today. I can't thank all of you enough. We really do have a very unique and amazing community here. You're welcome. Stay focused. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, and I'm glad with all the different thoughts in the market that we're all getting along and being respectful. I know that
it's so much better than everything else. Yeah,
it can really turn into a keyboard warrior moment when you tell somebody you're wrong. But I think that's the beauty of what we do. If you're not having or surrounding yourself around people that are hammering your ideas and trying to poke holes in your theses, then you're doing yourself an injustice. You're just listening to yourself. You need to listen to other people too, because their opinion may provide some insight that could lead to bigger gains for you.
All right, just looking around here. Sorry, I was distracted a little bit because I just saw a report that Justin Fields might return kicks for the Steelers, which would be something else. Okay. I like honestly, That's kind of why I stopped there. I'm literally still kind of processing that. I mean, maybe it'll be fun. Maybe that'd be fun to see. I don't know if that's what's going to happen. Anyway, all right, folks, we are going to get you over to Benzinga Live. That is what's next here. And the good news here is that you folks don't have to do anything. We're just going to go ahead and send you over there. 13. Any closing remarks here today?
Oh, hey, just have a good rest of the day, guys. You guys were awesome. We'll see you tomorrow, and stay green.
Stay green. Well said. Stay green, stay safe. We will see you tomorrow, folks. Benzinga Live next. Don't go anywhere. We'll see ya.